Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm just getting ready today. Oh, my lips are so dry. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of the Wet n Wild So Pouty Lip Gloss Balm. I think this is like $5 at the drugstore. It's a little thicker. I wouldn't say it's terribly glossy, but it does have a nice little shine to it. And this is the coconut one that is called Coconuts for You. Still in triple digits. I'm not surviving. I've gotten so far through the day and I hadn't put any makeup on, and I was like, oh, I gotta do something today later and I want to look like a person. So that's what I'm doing. Because normally I'd be drinking coffee because it'd be morning time, but not today. It's been so hot, I've been kind of just laying underneath the fan, like on the bed, just like soaking up all the cool that I possibly can. I hope you're doing well. I have been melting. I think I've been complaining a lot about the weather. I'm sorry. I try not to complain too much. But where I live in Eastern Washington this time of year, it is literally heat wave after heat wave. And I know it's August and it's kind of what's normal and expected, but that doesn't mean that I have to really be like excited about it. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm wearing little bell earrings today. I hope it doesn't annoy you. I kind of get immune to the sound, even though they're like literally hanging off the end of my ears. I always thought the sound was very cheerful and happy, and with my hair down, I have it in a headband today, but when my hair is kind of covering these, you hear them less. So, you know, if it gets to be too much, let me know and I won't ever wear them for a video again. Despite all of my SPF, when the sun gets this intense, I definitely notice that by kind of late summer, like August, early September, a lot of the hyperpigmentation on my face has gotten to be just a little bit more intense, and I am forever trying to hide it. So I'll do a lot better with the skincare that I'm using to fade my hyperpigmentation once October hits, but right now I feel like I'm just doing my best. I'm wearing a hat, I'm wearing my SPF, I'm staying out of the sun and indoors during the day, but you know, even just driving around, I'm picking up unnecessary and unwanted sun. I am wearing, is it Eucerin? Anyway, there's a new SPF that I picked up that I've been trying out. Somebody mentioned it in the comment section. It's good for face and body, and it's SPF 50. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and I've been liking it, but it makes my skin really, really dewy. If you want a really glowy, dewy look, this is the one for you. I'll make sure and put it in the description box. But on the days where I feel like I'm putting out my own natural dew, aka perspiration, yeah, I wonder if I should be going for mattifying SPF. All right, I'm gonna throw on a little bit of this. Not a lot, just a little bit. This is the Double Wear Sheer Long Wear Makeup from Estee Lauder. I have the shade 1N1. I think this is the lighter shade. I almost put it on the back of my hand. I'm like, I have a palette for that. Especially today, because with this white dress, I know that I would get it on my hand and then I would do something and I would get the, you know, my hand like on my dress, and I might still get makeup on me today. Here's hoping I don't, but you know, I live in the real world where I expect myself to make a mess all the time. So what are you doing to stay cool these days? Maybe it's not really hot where you are. Oh, if it's not, tell me where you live. Tell me that there really is a place where it's not triple digits and it's beautiful and the best place ever to summer. I'll tell you, my parents live in Ohio and they've got really high temperatures but a ton of humidity. I'm just grateful I live on the West Coast where there's not a lot of humidity where I live. There isn't any. We might get a little bit, like if there's been a rainstorm recently, and it might feel like a little bit humid for, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours. And then it's gone. But there is no like regular humidity. So if you live in parts of the Midwest or the South or, you know, East Coast where there's a ton of humidity, that is something I am not accustomed to. And I definitely feel it when I visit my family. But we have friends who live in Florida, so when I'm there sometimes, I have family in Texas, and so I'm just, sometimes there's muggy parts of Texas and there's just dry parts of Texas, but I think it's really interesting. Just that sort of like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting. Today I'm going to be using a sadly discontinued item. I'm trying to use it up. When they quit making this, my heart stopped. This used to be my favorite everyday concealer, and this is from Bare Minerals, their Bare Skin Complete High Coverage Concealer. Is that what it is? Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. All right, doesn't matter because they don't make it anymore. You can't buy it anymore. It makes me super sad. And I always use the lightest shade, Fair. And I was always so impressed with how skin-like it was. And I haven't tried their new one because I haven't heard good things. I've been shopping for back to school stuff with my kids. I know that it's, you know, school doesn't start for a while. My kids actually start on the 22nd of August. So I don't know when this video is going to go up, but today is the 4th. But I thought if I don't get out there, everything's going to be gone. There won't be any school shoes or clothes in their size. All of the sorts of school supplies that they need will be gone. My youngest is going to a school where they supply everything. And both my girls used to go there, but my oldest finally finished middle school and she's off to high school. And the high school she's going to, they're like, they email you a supplies list. I'm like, great. And so we went shopping today, and at Walmart, I was kind of looking at something like, well, with this and the other and all of this. I said, it's probably gonna be about $100. And my oldest was like, there's no way this is gonna cost that much, Mom. I'm like, well, you wait, you see. $99.33. And she was like, how did you know? And I said, when you have been shopping as much as I have. She goes, oh, it included tax. I was like, I know. And I never really, like, down to the penny, I didn't know. I said it's gonna be about $100. And I usually give myself maybe $2.50 wiggle room on either side. I still feel like if it was $97.50, I still would have nailed it. But my kids were just astounded. They're like, how did you know? And I said, guys, I've been shopping forever. They just thought it was funny that I knew exactly how much it was. And I was like, well, I love back to school shopping. It's my favorite type of shopping to do because it's something I think like I've been doing the longest. That and maybe shopping at the craft store. Spent a lot of time at the craft store with my mom when I was a kid. She did a lot of sewing. She did a lot of floral arrangements, a lot of, stuff that was very 80s, like stenciling, toll painting. Like my mom did all the 80s crafts. And I think it's really, really, really funny. But I spent a lot of time in craft stores. So shopping for craft items and school supplies, I think it not only brings like just waves of nostalgia and like happiness because it was my younger years, but also I've been doing it the longest. I abhor grocery shopping the most because it's the one thing you kind of have to do. And there's not always joy. It's always like, what do we need? If it was grocery shopping for like, oh, I've never seen this ingredient before. What can I make with this? Let's take this and see what happens. That'd be different. But no, grocery shopping is always like that. What do we need? And there's a list, and I usually have to stick to the list. It's not as much fun. Now, I did have a list today, my daughter's supplies list, but I was like, oh, they say you're gonna need red pens. Well, which out of these like 3 different styles of red pens look the most interesting to you? So there was still, wiggle room for interpretation. And I also put things in the basket that wasn't on the list. We always need new Sharpies once a year. We're running out of Post-it notes, just stuff. I don't want to like overdo anything because I'm using some cream and liquid products today. I'm going to be using the Glossier Solar Paint. I have the lightest shade in Flare. And I'm going to use this for some bronzer, maybe even like a little bronzing. I was so excited when I read on Instagram that Glossier was coming to Sephora in 2023. I was like, oh, I don't know. Glossier is one of those brands that there's a ton of stuff I haven't tried, but some of the stuff that I have tried that I love, I'm absolutely devoted to. Like, I love the Stretch Concealer. I love their Lauder. I also really like their Brow Flick. Boy, that stuff is good. And their Boy Brow. There's some really fabulous stuff. I like their Ultra Lip. And I only have one shade, and I kept going, man, I'd like to, get a different shade, but what do they look like? And I like the idea of being able to walk into a brick and mortar store like a Sephora and being able to swatch and try different formulations and different products. And there are so many skincare items that I just have never tried. I'm not gonna go and spend $35, $40 on something I haven't tried before or I can't smell or feel the texture of. Okay, that's not a true statement. I have done it. But I'm less likely to do it unless I can actually see what it looks like, see what the packaging feels like. Is it easy to open? Is it, reading? And of course you can always read the ingredients online, but there's something about going in store and just looking at it, holding it in your hand, and really having a heart-to-heart with myself And that's what I'm doing, like, am I really gonna use this? And when I'm on the Glossier website, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. There's nothing that's really compelling me to purchase it, because a picture is great, but it's not the same as like holding something in my hand and being like, ooh, man, this is cool. Oh, ooh, you know, nothing sells me on product like myself experiencing it. So being able to walk into a Sephora and, you know, try Glossier products in the future makes me so happy. I don't even know why I do this. I know I'm not tricking anybody's eye. I think I do it to make myself feel better. Well, between the X number of pounds that I will not say out loud that I've gained in the last 2.5 years, because I've been home and, you know, lockdown was not good to my waistline. I lost a few pounds, but not enough. I feel like this part of my face is, and maybe it's just because I'm also almost 50. I'll be 48 in January. And so I don't know whether this is age, whether this is genetic, or whether it's weight. On all three of those, you know, I can't change genetics, I can't change age. I can change my weight, but at this point, is it gonna make a difference, or has it already been kind of like stretched out and it is what it is? I haven't used this in forever. This is one of the Blushlights from Melt. This is one that I picked up, I think during the spring Sephora sale last year, and I really like it because it's such a pretty color. This is the shade Polished, but I have always liked this kind of, I don't know, warm grapefruity type look. I'm hoping I don't have too much here. I might. I'm just gonna tap it on. I need to order another one of these. This is the Elevated Glow from Eldridge. This is Crystal Nebula. I'm almost out. I had it laying down in a drawer and I realized I can't really do that anymore, because if I have it laying down, the doe foot doesn't hit any of the liquid at the bottom. So I'm just going to tap some of this around. I probably shouldn't just, like, the minute this is gone, go and order another one, because I have 2 other almost full jars. I have Pink Moon and Crystal Rose, Cosmic Rose. I feel like I have a little too much of this going on. But I really love this shade, Crystal Nebula, and I always thought it was a little bit too deep for my skin tone. I mean, I can make it work, but the shine on this is really what makes me, like, super happy. My 12-year-old, who's my youngest, has been working on a project this summer, and it's something that we kind of tasked her with doing before school started, and so she'd been kind of stretching it out longer and longer and longer, and she hadn't really been getting it done, and this project has been looming. And the hardest part was, we gave her this, okay, we want you to go and, you know, level this area of the backyard. We want you to put gravel down, put sand down, put square pavers. We had all the things that she needed. And we like, for May, all of June, all of July, and we're already into August and it's not done. And I'm like, child, what are you doing? And my hope was, like, even before Memorial Day in May, she would be done. And she has just kept procrastinating. So a week ago I said, look, you have until a week from today. She was like, what? You've been working on it for more than 90 days now. Time to finish up. So she was out there, bless her heart, working so hard. It was triple digits. And normally she'll get up at like 6 in the morning and work until 10. So by the time it's 85 degrees or almost 90, she's inside. Well, it was her last day and she could not. She's like, I can't stop until it's done. So she's out there in the triple digits, and I was, you know, taking her giant jugs of water, taking her other beverages, sodas, things that would help keep her electrolytes balanced, because she was perspiring. And in the sun, we set up like an umbrella for her, so she was working as much as possible in the shade. And she just kept going, doing great. She made 2 mistakes. One, she didn't wear SPF. And I'm always nagging her. My mom is Mexican, and it looks like it skipped a generation, but it hit my 12-year-old. She's got gorgeous golden skin, and she tans like that. And she loves being tan and gorgeous. And I'm always telling her, sweetheart, please wear SPF. She's like, but look how beautiful and tan I get. And I'm like, do you want skin cancer and wrinkles at my age? She's like, no. So I finally convinced her to start remembering to wear SPF, but she forgot yesterday. She's like, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get it finished. So she was out there for hours with no SPF, and she's very tan, but also a little sunburnt. she had dug down, she had placed this whole kind of stoned patio area, but I told her she needed to move all the dirt that she had, you know, put up on this side and on the other side, and patios in the middle. Like, we can't have like big piles of dirt. You have to move those. She's putting it in the wheelbarrow, and she's lifting the wheelbarrow yesterday, and she's pushing. She tips it up, and not all of it empties out, and she loses balance of it on that one wheel, and it comes crashing down on her big left toe. She was like, ah. So she's outside. I'm inside. I don't know what's going on. She comes in, and I hear her calling from like the screen door, "Mommy?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "Yes, come here." I was in the bathroom. She comes running in, and she's just like, "I think I hurt myself really bad." And she looks down, and she hadn't looked down at that point. She was wearing, you know, outdoor shoes. And as she took her shoes off, her toe was all bloody. She's like, she almost passed out. It felt so terrible. So got her all cleaned up. I told her, "You're all done. Even though you're not done moving all the dirt, you can do that once you're healed." I felt so bad. I felt so bad, but she's totally fine. I was worried she might have broken her toe because she can lift. She's a strong girl. She was lifting more than 150 pounds at a time. I wouldn't be surprised if she was pushing like almost 300 pounds in that wheelbarrow. You know, because all you gotta do is lift it and push it. You know, it's not as if you're dead lifting it. So she was pushing a lot of stuff around in there, but all of that to come down right on her toe. Oh, thankfully she hasn't broken it. She can still move it. It hurt really bad. The hardest part for her was that you like right where the nail comes out of the toe is where she had a little line of blood. And I told her she might lose the nail. She was like, "Lose a nail?" And she was thinking forever. And I was thinking, you know, because I've lost a nail. Maybe you haven't, but I have. You know, I slammed it in a car door as a kid. You know, you only have to lose a nail once before you are very careful. But, you know, it gets kind of weird and gross, and it grows out and falls off, and then a new one comes in. And so I thought she understood by losing a nail, meaning that, you know, temporarily. She thought for a life. And she was like boo-hooing big time because she loves painting her toenails in the summertime. She's like, "People are going to make fun of me at the pool." And I'm like, what? And so we finally came onto the same plane of, no, temporarily it does grow back. She was like, oh, she was so relieved. I feel so bad for my girl. I'm so glad that I have a new palette from Sydney Grace. I picked up a lot of stuff during their Christmas and July sale. A ton of stuff. So this is the Where the Wild Things Grow palette. Look at this. I'm going to start with this matte right here in the middle. This one's called Blazing Star. I don't want too much. And I'm going to use this. This is kind of like my obvious place to start. I always love Sydney Grace eyeshadows. These mattes are beautiful. I mean, look at that. It basically blends itself. I'm going to use this darkest shade here. This is called Bee Balm. And I'm going to pick just a little bit of it up and kind of hit this outside bee right here. I don't want this to go too high. Just a little bit. Look at this. I did that last time I was using one of these palettes. I'm like, this is not a very good mirror. And then I realized it's a great mirror. I just didn't pull the plastic off. I really don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm going to use this shade right here in Primrose. It's kind of like a darker green color. Right here. I don't know if that's a good idea. Probably not. Well, we've committed. The reason I wanted to put that down first is because this is the shade Sunflower, and I wanted to put this on next. Just kind of lay it right here on the lid. Oh, that is gorgeous, but I wanted a little bit more depth on the outside corner. Don't worry, I need to blend it still, I know. I'll get there. Give me a minute. I'm going to take this lightest shade here in Queen Anne's Lace and just with the little flat brush kind of give it a little pop in the inner corner. I'm going to take a little bit of that darker green shade in Primrose. Just kind of line my lower lash line here with it. I do see that I was not careful, overloaded my brush. Ah! I have some, now, okay. I gotta figure this one out. It would be easier if I had my whole face set, but I don't. So let me fix this and I'll be right back. Disaster averted. I'm gonna use this little rougher number 3. This also, hopefully, gonna knock off whatever extra I have on here. And I can just, a little bit of this down here to bring a little color to the lash line. I'm also taking a little bit of it, and since I don't have an eyeliner this shade that I can plop on here, I'm just kind of using this shadow as liner. I was planning on using just regular eyeliner today, just like a regular brown liner like I normally do. And I kind of really like this green thing I've got going on. So I'm just gonna really intensify, make it less smudgy and a little bit more deliberate. It's like I can't decide what I'm doing with my eye look today. I'm using my little teeny tiny push liner brush from Wayne Goss. Rougher has one that's very similar. I have never tried the Rougher one, but I love knowing that they have one that looks exactly like this. And I'm just gonna really focus on making my lash line this dark kind of fun green color. I just wiped all of my lip balm on that I put on previously at the beginning of this video, and I think the only lipstick that is not gonna fight with my kind of sunburnt cheek and my bright green eyes is this really sheer nude from Lisa Eldridge. This is the Luxuriously Lucent lipstick in the shade Le Mépris. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of Meet Me in Berlin in here. Oh, I like the way this looks. So same formula, and this is a kind of, not quite so much a beige, but a little bit more of a sheer kind of 90s brown. And I think together it is just enough, not too much, because I got a lot going on here with my sunburnt cheek and then a lot with the, you know, brighter eyes that I normally don't wear. So I didn't want to just like bring a lot of focus to the lips. Well, thank you so much for watching today. Let me know what it is that you're up to. How are you handling the heat? What sorts of things are you doing to stay cool? Has anything interesting happened recently? What are you getting ready for? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you again soon.